I'm a little overwhelmed with emotion right now. This vision was really touching to me. The first thing that I saw was a cavern underground, and it was full of fog. And I don't know if you guys know, like the cavern, like those long rock-like formations that kind of stick up out of the ground and it come down from the roof of a cavern.
Stalactites and stalagmites.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
The stalagmite comes up from the bottom and the stalactite comes down from the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like that. And it was full of fog. And then I'd like to just describe it the way I saw it because the perspective changes in it. But first I saw that. And then I saw a different perspective where this cavern opened up and it was now sort of like a little mini lake in the middle of this cavern. And I'm looking down and I'm seeing like these boats, and they remind me of a ride at a amusement park where there's like 4 or 5 rows in the boat and people are all sitting in the boat. And these boats are coming in one by one. And they're going off to the left. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, you know, I'm trying to think to myself, like, what's going on here? And I could see also that, like, they'd go off to the left, and then one would go off to the right. And then I was just wondering, you know, what is this? And all of a sudden, my perspective changed. And, oh, excuse me, where they originally came from, this foggy place, you could see where that was coming from. And you can see, like, the fog sort of lift away. And then it would come into this room where the little lake was in the cavern. And then my perspective changed, and I was sitting in the boat, one of these boats, coming out of this tunnel of fog into this cavern. And I looked ahead, expecting to see the Lord, like, sitting on a throne, like, directing these boats. But I look forward, and there's this light, and it was not the Lord. It was this woman. And I was like, Lord, what is going on? And it was this woman, and she stood up, and it was almost like she was sitting on a throne, and she stood up. She was glowing, and she pointed to the left, as if to tell the boats, you're going to the left. And excuse me, I got emotional at this point in my vision, and I'm like, I stood up in this boat, and I said, no, to this woman. No, I'm not going there. And the boat stopped, and it wouldn't go to the left, and it wouldn't go to the right, and it wouldn't move. And I could almost see the steering wheel of this boat just teetering back and forth, and it wouldn't go, and it was stuck, and it wouldn't move. So I was like, Lord, can I get out? Can I jump out of here? Will you let me get out? And he let me jump out of this boat. And I swam to the shore on the right side, and I sat up on this side, and I was just calling to these people in the boat, and I'm like, get out, come with me, get out. And a lot of them got out, and one didn't, and he kind of climbed forward, you know, like if a car empties out, somebody might climb forward to the front row of the seat, and the person climbed up to the front row of the seat, and then the boat went off to the left. So me and these people are sitting on the side, and I'm like, Lord, are we waiting for a boat, you know? And a boat comes, and we get in, and all of a sudden we go to the right, and we go down this tunnel, a long tunnel, and this tunnel ends at this beautiful land. And I'm almost like overcome with beauty, and I start to get emotional again. It's just so beautiful, and I'm so thankful to be there. And so I step off this boat. We all step off this boat, and these like angelic figures are above us. Maybe they're angels. They have wings, and they're holding this oil, and they're pouring it out. And so we walk through this oil, and we're just all in white, and we're just, we walk through this oil, and we're all white. And we start to head up this hill, And then I think it's me. Maybe it wasn't. I just felt like I was in this person's body, so I was me. But I see her go into this tent at the top of the hill. And as soon as she goes in, it's all red in there. And I was like, something's like glowing red in here. And I see in the center of the room that there's this heart. And then I felt like it was like the heart of the Lord. And I can't remember. Thank you. At this point, after I felt like it was the heart of the Lord, I stopped and I listened in, and that was when Tim was praying. And he said something like, give us the heart of the Lord. And I just started bawling again because it was just so the Lord. And I was like, how do I get this? How do I take this? And I felt like she had to reach inside and take out her own heart and crush it in her hands and let it become dust, and then take a part of this heart that was there and put it in her. And then she exited from the other side of the tent back out into this land and started to go back down the hill. And that's it.
Back up to what? A lamp?
Land.
Land. Piece of land.
Yeah, it was like a land. It was a mountain. It was beautiful. It was really deep, deep green.
Oh.
Yeah, trees. It was really beautiful.
A lush mountain. Yeah.阿拉的巴拉的像的那一样，一体他的那么那一样。What do you think about the woman?
I really wanted her to be me. I really wanted
No,
to stand.
the first woman you tell you to go somewhere you struggle with.
Oh, yeah. She was. I don't know. I don't know if she was. I don't know who she was. But she was very big. She was like a giant. She sat, because in this cavern, it was just cavern, and it was just this water. And she sat in a spiritual seat, fully shiny, huge. She was a giant. She was tall. She had almost looked like armor on. She was blonde. Yeah, that's what she looked like to me anyway.
Any impression on your part?
Oh, it's very similar to the woman in my dream.
Is that right? So it's bad figure then. Yeah. Might be the spirit of Babylon, I believe. So. Well, that's very sobering. Amen. Hallelujah. Same time, very encouraging. Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I think on the ground, eternal fall, everything is speaking about the spiritual condition of the church, most of the people. Well, this is.
They don't realize.
They're not naturally they are under, so they're not free. Ascending the hill, every different journey, so they channel through this underground thing to get in the nowhere, basically. So
It's under the earth.
Under the earth,
exactly. Sheol, and otherwise it's the place of judgment.
Yeah, it's he's the woman sitting on the water, right? So speaking about the mind most.